All right, guys, back on Southeastern 16 with Max Barr, previewing a big one on Saturday in Fayetteville as the Arkansas Razorbacks going to host the red-hot Missouri Tigers, 7 p.m. Central tip, Max. I don't actually have the network in front of me. I don't know why it's not loading on this, but it's a 7
ESPN.
p.m. Is it ESPN? Okay.
Yep.
For some reason, ESPN's not giving me the actual logos for the TV time. But there you have it. On ESPN, a game that deserves to be in a prime spot on Saturday because these two teams are playing some good basketball right now. I know you may say, well, come on, Arkansas is 4-9 in SEC play. But as Max rightfully pointed out in our power rankings this week, they're playing like a top half team in the league. I know they're coming off back-to-back losses at Texas A&M, at Auburn. But no shame in that. They lose by 8 at the Aggies, 7 at Auburn. But we know overall this team is kind of in a different spot than they were when they got off to that 0-5 start, 1-6 in the league. They're playing better basketball. But Max, at some point, you got to start winning games. And so we'll see if this is one they can do that. However, the issue is that Missouri is playing like one of the best teams in the country right now. We keep bringing up all the Bart Torvik splits on Missouri being a top 5 team in the country, basically, since the 1st of January, or since SEC play started. That's how good they've been, coming off of a 110-98 victory against Alabama. Missouri looks like a machine. Arkansas is playing better. This is going to be a fun one here.
I love starting to see all the national media and they're just seeing posts on social media. Wow, I think I like Missouri as a dark horse to make a run in March Madness. I like them as a dark horse sleeper team. Where were you 2 months ago, guys? When we weren't that high on Missouri, but we were talking some of these numbers. Look at Ant Robinson's numbers and Evan Mia early in the season. Mark Mitchell's numbers. Like, whoa, this team is playing really efficient basketball, and it's all starting to come together, Blake, as Missouri, one of the hottest teams in the country. But I'm telling you right now, not far behind them are the Hogs, because we talk about all this Bart Torvik filtering the data, trying to get sample sizes, see who's hot, who's not. While Missouri ranks top 5 since the start of the new year, Arkansas floats right around 25th, give or take a few spots. So, hey, this team 2-3 months ago, looking like they were going to miss the tournament, Blake, right now, they are playing right around the capabilities of a 5 seed in March Madness, if you want to put it that way. 2 hot teams here.
Yep, 2 very hot teams, and I think that's where, when we look at how this game could play out, I mean, you start with Missouri's strengths, right? And we keep bringing it up like it's the same kind of stuff. They take care of the ball. They force turnovers. That's a nice formula to have, especially if you're a team on the road. And remember, too, we've talked about the way Missouri has played on the road at times this season. The 27-point win at Mississippi State. They just came off a 13-point win where they were pretty dominant in the second half against Georgia. Even the game at Tennessee, like, don't look at that and say, well, they lost, and be like, okay, come on, they didn't play well enough to win. They did play well enough to win that game. Tennessee just happened to play one of their best offensive games of the season, and I think that's something where when you look at this Missouri team, I think that's what's really stood out for me, Max. Outside of that one game against Texas, where it was just, we thought that was kind of like a bad spot game. Remember, that was coming off the previous matchup between these two teams. Missouri won 83-65 in Columbia. We were like, okay, that's kind of a tough spot. Texas needs a win. But other than that, Missouri's kind of been a road warrior type team. Like, they have really played well overall on the road this season. And I think that is something, too, where you kind of bring that into this. Remember, they have the win at Florida. So I think that's what I'm most curious about, because Arkansas should have Bud Walton rocking again now that they're playing better. And their fan base knows, too. This is such a crucial game for Arkansas and their NCAA tournament hopes that the atmosphere is going to be fantastic. But if there's something we say about Missouri, they have not backed down from these kind of environments this season at all.
And what makes this matchup so interesting, Blake, is that we have 2 teams playing hot and 2 teams that are leaning on different areas to get hot. We have Missouri, who is one of the best offenses in the nation right now. Just unbelievable efficiency, depth, multiple ways of attack, multiple different matchup nightmares. If it's Perkins backing down a smaller guard, if it's Mark Mitchell using his athleticism to take a big man off the bounce, pump fake, draw fouls, grill, whipping off 3 screens, you name it, they can beat you that way. However, Arkansas, what have they been leaning on to get this thing rolling again, to get the consistency? It's been the defense, the added intensity. No Boogie Flan. We're a little bit stronger now, a little bit beefier. We've got Big Z blocking shots left and right. Adu is a little bit more healthy. So that's why this is even more interesting, Blake, is you got one of the hottest offenses against one of the stingiest defenses right now going at it.
Yeah, Arkansas's defense, as we brought up, has not gotten enough love. Like, they're now in the top 20, as you mentioned, like in terms of like just look at all the stats. Their defensive numbers are really good. And I think there's a combination of things, and we've kept saying, like, I think it's the emergence of John L. Davis. Like, he's been the key, I think, for them turning around their offense. We mentioned all the other guys, like Big Z has obviously had his big games. DJ Wagner, Adu Thero has been very consistent and all that. But I think Davis finally kind of getting that confidence back and being in a rhythm in this offense has been significant. But the defense has really been something that has pushed this team forward. You look at the last 3 games for Arkansas: 67 points against Auburn, 69 points against Texas A&M, 58 points against LSU, right? So they have been really good on the defensive end of the floor, and doing that against one of the best offensive teams in Auburn just kind of shows you that their ability to really kind of flex defensively, they're going to have to, because let's think about this too. When you think about it, who's the other team that had to play Auburn and Missouri back to back, right? It was Alabama. Alabama just played Auburn and Missouri in back-to-back games. Alabama, 94-85, 110-98. 2 completely different kind of games, right, in terms of what you expect Alabama to play in those and what you expect Arkansas to have, coming off a 67-60 game. So, to me, this is one where it's like, I think KenPom has this as 76-74.
Yep.
I'm thinking more like Arkansas wins this one. I'm like, it is in that 60s type range. It's that same kind of sort of game plan that you've seen them have in some of these games, to where I think that gives them the best chance for success here because, too, Missouri on the defensive end, we said it, hey, they are going to force you to make mistakes offensively, and they are going to turn it into offense. And so if you're Arkansas, got to take care of the ball, but also think you need this game to be kind of in that same sort of score range to feel like you have a shot here, because Missouri just will put so much pressure on you with how good they are offensively.
The last 2 times that Missouri did not score at least 80 points, they've lost. Now, they've only done that, well, actually, they won a Vanderbilt game, 75-66. Okay, so there's an outlier. But if you want to go back to the start of SEC play, they've only not scored 84 times. They won the one against Vanderbilt, lost at Auburn, lost at Texas, and lost home against A&M. Didn't get to 80 in any of those. So that might be the magic number here. And is there something here, Blake, to Arkansas kind of using the A&M formula from just a few games ago? Just making it gross, just taking away the transition, taking away those heat check threes, taking away the momentum, and just mucking it up, making it ugly. And we're going to have Adu Thero shoot as many free throws as he can. If you want to do that with Mark Mitchell, we can do it with Thero, that kind of thing. Do you think Arkansas pulls on that maybe?
Well, here's what I think, and it goes back to the previous point. It's like, if you're Arkansas, I think the most important part of this game is simply just taking care of the ball. Because if you turn the ball over, that's going to allow Missouri to get out in transition, to get easier baskets. And we know what happens. If Missouri's in a 3-on-2 situation, Tony Perkins is going to pass it to, to Anthony Robinson, who all of a sudden is going to find a wide open Caleb Grill in the corner because it's 3-on-2. They got the numbers advantage. Bang. It's, there's 3 points for Missouri. And so I think that's what you have to do if you're Arkansas. You just have to limit the turnovers. And if we go back to the previous game, I'm not going to take much away from this because, again, these are just so long ago for Arkansas. They're not the same team they were in this game. This was kind of where it felt like the bottom fell out for Arkansas. They had 13 turnovers in that game. They were 5 of 23 from 3. And again, that's kind of just where you look. They got to the free throw line 8 times, 4 of 8 from the free throw line. That's something else, too, I think, for Arkansas. I want to see them be aggressive here in terms of, all right, I know they don't get a large percentage of their points from the free throw line, but we do know they do get a lot of, from inside the arc. And so I think being aggressive here, it's a Missouri team where, like, even if you get Missouri in foul trouble, they got so many guys that can play that it's really hard to ever feel like they are just completely, not going to have a rotation that can manage and be okay. But I think that's something where I think if you're Arkansas, you want to kind of see them play that aggressive type game. Like you said, make it a little ugly defensively, but offensively, like be aggressive, be able to kind of be in attack mode because they need to get to the free throw line more than 8 times. And what that's going to do as well, it'll allow you to maybe take advantage of some of those things and try to just limit the amount of turnovers. I know it's easier to say, but I think that's where when you get Missouri, when they get going, they get in that rhythm, it's usually when they're able to turn that defense into offense, and then all of a sudden they're getting out, and the momentum completely can shift in a game. I think that's crucial here for Arkansas to limit that.
One more point here, and this will lead me right into my pick, is looking at Arkansas's three-point defense and how it's been playing as of late compared to how it was maybe 2-3 months ago when Missouri shot 11 of 23 for 48%, which just happens to be the second best percentage anyone has shot on Arkansas all year, only second to that Illinois game way back when. Okay, so only 3 times in SEC play has Arkansas given up double-digit threes. Tennessee in the opener, Mizzou, and then the Kentucky win. The Kentucky, when they won against Kentucky, was they let up 10 of 23 for 43.5%. Since then, the 5 games since then, 6 of 22, 5 of 19, 5 of 20, 6 of 20, 4 of 24. No one has shot over 30% against Arkansas from 3 in the past 5 games. They have absolutely locked it down. Place is going to be rocking. I picked Mizzou last game. Picking the Hogs at home.
Glad you said 30%. Missouri, in their 6 losses this season, 29% from 3 against Memphis, 23% from 3 against Illinois, 30% from 3 against Auburn, 18% from 3 against Texas, 24% from 3 against Texas A&M. They did go 12 of 30 in that game against Tennessee, which, like we said, it feels like a game they won, even though they lost. They just happened to play a red-hot Tennessee team. But that was kind of a common denominator. And then you look at the last couple games, right? They beat Georgia on the road, 9 of 29, 31%, 4 of 12 against Oklahoma for 33%, which, again, they only needed 12 because they won that game going away. Is Missouri going to get to the free throw line enough times they need here to win this game? I think that's what it comes down to. Arkansas, we said, has been a good defensive team. Do they limit the amount of free throws? Because it's really hard to do against this Missouri team. We said it. They're one of the best in the country. They're still top 5. I haven't looked at the update numbers since the Alabama game. They shot 40. They're number 1 now. Okay. They shot 47 against Alabama. I don't think they're shooting 47 here. But if Missouri gets to the free throw line, let's say 25 times or so, I think they have a great chance to win this game. Arkansas has to keep them off the line. And I think as long as, like you said, try to prevent those Caleb Grill solo runs where he just all of a sudden makes 3, and then boom, you're down 9. That's it. Because I think Arkansas can find some things offensively here. Like we said, you feel like this will be, if it's Arkansas's kind of game, a lower scoring type game potentially. But come on, I say all that. Missouri fans know by now the formula here. We're not going to mess with this at all. If I picked Missouri in this game, the Missouri fans would not be happy about it, Max. So we know where I'm going. I'm picking the Hogs too. And it's a tough spot, right? If you're Missouri, I think as good as they've been playing, it's a tough spot. My jokes aside and my reverse mojo picks aside, it's a tough game because this is one where Arkansas, this can be one that gets you into the NCAA tournament. And it is, I think, coming off of a performance like that from Missouri, having to get back up, go to Arkansas. But, man, they've been so good on the road this season, as we said. So something's got to give here in this one. But my pick strategy will not go another direction just yet. So we the Hogs too in this one. But there you go. It should be a lot of fun in this game, as we said. If you want to have some fun in March, well, you can do it with Bracket Bids because they have that free pick'em contest, or you can start an auction draft league with your friends, family, or coworkers. Everyone starts with the same bidding dollars. Up to you to outwit and outbid your league mates to secure the teams you think will go the distance. Choose from multiple scoring models, including the upset bonuses to reward the bold picks. Track your teams with live in-game scoring and watch the standings shift in real time. The further your teams advance, the higher you climb the standings. For league play, use that promo code SC16 for 40% off. SC16, 40% off. Download the Bracket Bids app today or visit them at bracketbids.com. We appreciate you guys watching. As always, we'll have live reaction Saturday night, prime time, to this game, Arkansas versus Missouri. A fantastic matchup between these two teams. So hope you'll join us for that. Turn on those notifications. Hit that like button on your way out. We appreciate you guys watching. We'll talk to you soon. Southeastern 16.